Alaikum, Excellency.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. Good to see you. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here in your embassy, and congratulations on your Independence Day as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your coming, and congratulations with independence of Pakistan, which we celebrated just recently.
Thank you.
Welcome to Embassy of Uzbekistan.
Thank you very much. We'll go inside and talk about other issues as well.
Yeah.
This is yours. Thank you. Thank you, Excellency. Thank you. अस्सलाम वालेकुम। एम्बेसी रोड में खुश आमदीद नाज़रीन। आज हमारे मेहमान हैं पाकिस्तान में उज़्बेकिस्तान के सफ़ीर, और हम उनसे आज गुफ्तगू करेंगे पाकिस्तान उज़्बेकिस्तान के ताल्लुकात के हवाले से, और उनसे पूछेंगे कि पाकिस्तान और उज़्बेकिस्तान के ताल्लुकात जो हैं इस वक्त उनकी क्या नोयत है, मुस्तकबिल में उनमें वसअत पैदा करने के लिए क्या इम्कानात हैं, और इसके अलावा हम उनसे खित्ते की सूरत हाल के ऊपर भी तबादला ख्याल करेंगे। Thank you, Ambassador, for joining in this program.
Thank you for you.
Let's begin by congratulating you on the 20th anniversary of independence of Uzbekistan. This program we dedicate to the independence of your country. So, what would you say about the social and economic progress that Uzbekistan has made after it has become independent from the Soviet Union, and 20 years is a long period?
Thank you, Javed Siddiq Saab. First of all, let me start with the blessings of Allah Almighty for all of us, for Muslim Ummah in Ramadan. And you have mentioned about 20 years of anniversary of Uzbekistan, which is the most important and dearest for the whole Uzbek nation and for the all brothers and friends of Uzbekistan abroad. Alhamdulillah, during these 20 years of independence, we have achieved the rapid change and cardinal reforms and modernization of our economy, and turned our country from one-sided agricultural power to the multifaceted economy. And we have achieved during these years of independence the political stability, the strong and dynamic economic development of the country. Just few examples that during last 5-6 years, despite the global financial crisis and many economic problems facing all over the world, Uzbekistan consecutively every year keeping the growth of the GDP not less than 8-9% per annum. Only these 6 months, the first half of this current year, we have achieved again 8% of the growth of GDP, with industrial production more than 6.7%, with agricultural production 6.8%, and the overall trade turnover exports of our country, of our economic goods, has been achieved by 18.7%, which shows that we have now positive balance of our economy. And the most important thing is that social and economic development, which has been achieved during these years, are bringing us the political and economic stability in the country. That shows also from the income of the foreign investment. For example, for these 6 months, we have registered $1.4 billion
of foreign investment.
And the important thing is that 84% of that amount comes as the foreign direct investment, which is also showing the confidence of the foreign investors.
Right. Ambassador, what is the major industry in Uzbekistan, despite, in addition to agriculture? What is the industrial production in Uzbekistan? Is it textile, or is it mining, or what?
Thank you for this question. I mentioned in the beginning that after the independence we got the one-sided agricultural economy. Now, with the path of the time, with the reforms and the modernization of economy, we have achieved now 24% of the industrial share. I mean, all kind of industry, starting from the car industry, from the
So you manufacture cars also?
Manufacturing cars, manufacturing the tractors, manufacturing the agricultural manufacturing, then the car industry, and all kind of products which we are using. We are blessed with the mineral resources which we are using them effectively. So the agriculture now it's only 21% of our economy. Then the services, the sector of services, which is more important thing, now it's more than 64% of our economy.
When you were under the Soviet system, Soviet Union system, the banking and other institutions that you have mentioned, services sector, it was a totally different ball game. Now, after independence, you are rebuilding the economy on modern lines, and market economy is being introduced in your country. So how will you explain this experience from moving from a regimented economy, from a controlled economy to a free market economy?
It reminds me also the experience of your great nation, of your country, which started also from the zero 64 years before, when you've been also just parted away from the Ost-Ind Empire. So you do understand what difficulties are for the every economy which are starting from the zero. So the success and the secret of that, it is on the Uzbek model, lies on the Uzbek model of our economy, which is based on the responsibility of the government for the economic reforms and modernization, and the strong social economic policy of the government, which is simultaneously comes with that. So sustainability and the gradual reforms, what we say in Uzbekistan, do not destroy your old house without building the new one. So this Uzbek model proved itself with the all macroeconomic indicators which I mentioned before, that this model is now bringing the social development and political stability, which gives most important thing for every nation, the independence on the foreign policy and the confidence.
How about your trade with your neighboring countries, the Central Asian Islamic countries which gained independence from the Soviet Union? Your trade is increasing with these nations, or it is increasing with the region, or globally you are building up your trade?
Yes, the foreign trade, which was before definitely related only for CIS countries, former republics of the Soviet Union, now has been diverted for the all continents, and the foreign trade indicators shows us that for example, from the last 6 months, which we have more than $24 billion of our trade turnover, 13.4 comes for the countries starting from our European, then North America, then Asia Pacific region, so you know them, China, Japan, South Korea, and then South Asia and Middle Asia. So only 9 billion from 20 billion comes for the trade with the former CIS countries, starting with our
So you are
brothers.
focusing more on countries outside the CIS.
Exactly. So that now 67% goes now with the foreign countries, new trade partners, and then only 45% comes with our brotherly countries in the Middle Asia, like Turkmenistan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, and Tajikistan, and then Russia, Ukraine, Belarus, and others.
Last question in this portion I will ask about the neighboring countries of Uzbekistan have tremendous resources of oil and gas. How about Uzbekistan?
Alhamdulillah, we are also blessed with the oil and gas resources. We, alhamdulillah, in 1995 started to build our oil refineries, and using our own sources we have achieved oil independence, which is most important thing.
Very great, very good. We'll continue this discussion, Ambassador. नाज़रीन, हम एक मुख्तसर ब्रेक लेते हैं. ब्रेक से वापसी के बाद हम पाकिस्तान में उज़्बेकिस्तान के सफ़ीर से मज़ीद गुफ्तगू करेंगे मुख्तलिफ इश्यूज़ के ऊपर. अभी वो मैं अपने मुल्क के बारे में बता रहे हैं कि उनकी मुल्क की जो इकोनॉमिक स्ट्रेंथ है वो क्या है, और हम बात करेंगे इसके बाद पाकिस्तान और उज़्बेकिस्तान के ताल्लुकात में. वेलकम बैक. हम बात कर रहे हैं पाकिस्तान में उज़्बेकिस्तान के सफ़ीर से. Ambassador, how would you explain the relations between Uzbekistan and Pakistan? They are two Islamic brother countries. How would you explain the current state of relations between the two countries?
Of course, our countries, our two brotherly nations, we are bonded forever with historical and most important religious ties. The names of our great ancestors born and matured in Uzbekistan, like Imam al-Bukhari rahmat alayh, Imam al-Tirmizi rahmat alayh, Bahauddin Naqshband, the names of the great Amir Timur and Mirza Zahruddin Babur. The interaction between our ulemas, between Samarkand and Bukhara, Tashkent, with such cities like Multan, Uj Sharif, with Peshawar, Lahore,
there's a spiritual link between Uzbekistan and Pakistan.
Yes, the blessings of our ulemas and awliyas, like we say in Uzbekistan, is showing us the right path for the bringing together our nation. And alhamdulillah, after the independence of Uzbekistan, we could establish direct contacts and cooperation, increased cooperation and active contacts in all fields between our two countries. And the current state of our relations are dynamically growing. It's high-level contacts which are increased and taking place and increased by year, every year. And also these high-level political contacts give us the great opportunity for the multifaceted and multi-sectoral cooperation between our two governments, nations.
Excellency, the political relations are excellent between the two countries, but the economic and the trade relations in today's world, these relations matter very much. So how can we build, the two countries can build strong economic and trade relations? What do you think about the future prospects in this field?
I am delighted to tell you that alhamdulillah, the Uzbekistan, which is the largest by population country of the Central Asia, having most strongest ties with Pakistan. You mentioned on the political level, and of course the embassies and the governments and the nations' commitment should be to realize, to implement this as the follow-up to the real social economic development. So we are the only countries, Uzbekistan and Pakistan, in this whole region which we are related with the airways. Uzbek Airways are operating for the last 5 years, 4 flights per week from Tashkent to Lahore and vice versa. And we have a good opportunity also to open in the next year in Islamabad flight and then to Karachi flight.
What about PIA? PIA is not operating flights from Pakistan to Uzbekistan to Tashkent?
PIA has been offered, of course, by our government, but it is, of course, the decision should be from the Pakistan Airways, what kind of facilities they have, the aircrafts, and then I think the price for the gas and fuel also preventing them. But it is actually up to them to decide, but the flights, they always are agreed on the mutual and parity basis. Then coming to the high-level meetings, which are very important, they definitely, the last year visit of President Asif Ali Zardari to Uzbekistan and meeting with His Excellency President Islam Karimov, and also the following visit of Prime Minister Said Yusuf Raza Gilani in March this year to Uzbekistan were great political successes, and the leaders, the Prime Minister Said Yusuf Raza Gilani met with President Islam Karimov, with the Prime Minister Shavkat Mirziyoyev, and they definitely discussed the ways on the bringing this political level to the social economic level. We have doubled. I'm delighted to tell you that we have doubled our trade from 20 million to the 40 billion, but of course all sides agreed that it is only the small amount. This is small.
Currently it is $40 million.
Exactly. Even if it is more than other countries of the Middle Asia together, but anyway it's small taking into account the great potential. So the important thing is now opening not only Uzbek Airways air bridge, but also the bridge on the transport corridors between our two countries, which lies, of course, through the Afghanistan, which we are obstacles and hurdles with. Despite that, we started using these transport corridors thanks to good policies of your government, which you also signed the agreement with the Afghanistan government. Now the transit trade agreement.
Yes.
Now the next step will be the trilateral transit trade agreement, which definitely will serve for the strengthening economic ties and broadening the sectors of economic for cooperation and the trade volume between our two countries.
Now, you mentioned the trade, that it is $40 million at the moment, but you need to increase. Both Pakistan and Uzbekistan have agreed to increase this trade. What are the major items that both countries are trading in? What does Pakistan import from Uzbekistan, and what does Uzbekistan import from Pakistan?
Yeah, import of Pakistan from Uzbekistan comes with the cotton, raw cotton, with the leather, with the chemical products, with the fertilizers, agricultural products, and export and the import of Uzbekistan. It comes with the leather products, pharmaceutical, tobacco, non-ferrous metals, and of course surgical instruments and sport goods and leather goods from Pakistan now are coming to.
What are the prospects of setting up some joint ventures, Pakistan, Uzbekistan, investing jointly in certain projects? Have both countries studied this area as well?
Yes, I'm delighted to tell you that we have now more than 60 joint ventures between Uzbekistan and Pakistan, which are mostly operating, majority of them operating in Uzbekistan, taking into account the facilities, energy, water, and other facilities in Uzbekistan, which are now very well provided to the entrepreneurs. We have established the joint venture on the leather products, on the textile products, on the fertilizers, on the various services paid services to, now we are thinking about fiber optic, now we are thinking about the joint bank operations, now we are thinking about the new ventures on the pharmaceutical sector.
We'll continue this discussion. नाज़रीन एक मुख्तसर ब्रेक लेते हैं और ब्रेक से वापसी के बाद हम ये गुफ्तगू का सिलसिला जारी रखेंगे. वेलकम बैक. हमारी गुफ्तगू हो रही है पाकिस्तान में उज़्बेकिस्तान के सफ़ीर साहब से और उनसे हम पूछ रहे हैं पाकिस्तान उज़्बेकिस्तान ताल्लुकात के हवाले से और अब हमसे बात करेंगे अफगानिस्तान की सूरत हाल पर. Excellency, you mentioned that you need to design a new trade agreement in which Pakistan and Afghanistan and Uzbekistan also be party. But what about Afghanistan? Afghanistan is in turmoil. It is hard hit by terrorism. The foreign troops are present there. Unless Afghanistan is peaceful, what are the prospects of expanding trade and economic cooperation among the regional countries?
Yes, you are absolutely right about the difficulties which we are facing, all of us, countries, and of course neighboring countries, Pakistan and Uzbekistan, and other 6 other neighboring countries. They are all of us, we are facing a lot of problems with the instability in Afghanistan. So coming to the ways of solution of Afghanistan, if our viewers know Uzbekistan and Tashkent in particular as the center of the diplomacy in 1965, last century.
Yes, the Tashkent Declaration.
Tashkent Declaration.
In which India and Pakistan concluded an agreement which is known as Tashkent Agreement,
Declaration,
which was rejected by the people of Pakistan, by the way.
Yes, so this century, after the independence, Tashkent also, Uzbekistan, plays as the central role on the region, on the bringing the peaceful ways. We are the first country who from the very beginning, from 90s of the last century and from 2000 years of this century, we told, and the Uzbek leader, President Islam Karimov, told to the leaders of the world, there is no military solution. It was stressed and revealed by my president in 2007 in NATO summit in Bucharest, in Romania, when the president said that we need to revive again the 6+2 formula and to reformat that to the 6+3 formula for Afghanistan. So the no military solution is the first principle of that. Then the social economic development of Afghanistan is the background and the background for the bringing the Afghan nation to the negotiation table. So then it comes for the political part of this problem. And 6+3 provides the opportunity to, first of all 6 neighboring countries, which we call regional solution, to agree on non-interference to Afghanistan on the political and military and cultural way. So the world superpowers, they should be also giving us the guarantee of non-interference to the regional problem. And this will give the opportunity to Afghan factions, Afghan sides, Afghan brothers to sit and themselves, again I am reiterating, themselves to decide the future of Afghanistan.
But Excellency, the presence of the foreign troops in Afghanistan, they are saying that unless Afghanistan becomes stable economically, politically, and unless the Afghan National Army is strong enough to take the responsibility of the security of Afghanistan on their shoulders, there can be no peace. And the military operation is continuing in Afghanistan, one after the other. So do you think that this approach or this strategy is non-productive?
We do believe, and we are very much confident, that the start of the negotiation, the political environment which will be conducive after the implementation of 6+3 peace formula will bring the real opportunity to the both rival sides to sit together. If we are now only continuing the military operation without bringing social economic development and political ways of the solving of Afghan imbroglio, we will not achieve. I'm again stressing the words of my president that there is no military solution
to
Afghanistan problem, which has been told. We have a good experience. In 90s, last century, the situation was relatively same. And we had also the one of the bloodiest conflict ever that time, when the all Afghan nation was inside this turmoil, and all the regional countries and superpowers were that time also in conflict with each other. So 6+3, 6+2 in 1999, we have succeeded to bring two factions, Taliban and Northern Alliance, to Tashkent, and they had two very successful negotiations between themselves, and they started to negotiate. So the situation of the last century, of course, might be with some differences which we have right now, but if we succeeded in the 19th in Tajikistan, where Uzbekistan, Pakistan, and Iran, regional formula also has been implemented and worked in Tajikistan, which we are now 12 years, more than 12 years peaceful. Why? It is 6+2, which worked in Afghanistan last century. Why it will not work this century?
So you mentioned your attempt to bring stability in Afghanistan by bringing Taliban and the Northern Alliance together in Tashkent. Can you do it again? Can you play the role of a mediator between Taliban's and the current government led by Hamid Karzai?
Uzbekistan in particular is not pretending to be a mediator. Our initiative 6+3 means that there will be formation of the contact group of 6 neighboring countries, which will decide between themselves about the principles of non-interference. The second step after that will be that the world countries of the world also will give us the same guarantees on that. And the third one will be for Afghans themselves under the patronage of the United Nations to sit and to decide their future and formation of the future government. Only these step-by-step, gradual steps can bring us, our region, again to the stability and the peace.
Ambassador, what is your assessment of the current initiative of Hamid Karzai? He is advocating talks with Taliban, and the Americans are also saying that they are supporting this Afghan government-led talks with Taliban. Do you think that this process will succeed, or it has the prospects of bringing peace and a negotiated settlement to Afghanistan imbroglio?
Having said that there is no military solution and that political dialogue and social economic development should be going forward regardless the current situation and the hurdles which we have, of course any kind of talks between 2 sides, 3 sides will be very productive and very effective.
So you support this process?
The Uzbek initiative, little bit different from that process which we are now talking about. You know, if we are neighbors, if we say in Uzbekistan, if your neighbor is in trouble, then you are in trouble. If we 6 neighboring countries first will not start to agree between ourselves the principles and the formulas of the military solution, to start negotiation right now will be maybe premature. But anyway, talks are much better than just military strikes and assaults to each other. But the right way, again, I want to reiterate that I told it in the beginning.
Excellency, in what way Uzbekistan is impacted by the Afghan crisis? Because you share your borders with Afghanistan, you're a neighboring country. And in what way you are being affected from security point of view, from law and order point of view, and from economic point of view?
The same diseases, the same hurdles, the same difficulties which facing our brothers in Pakistan and Iran, we are facing the same. This is influx of the refugees, which started from 80s, 90s of the last year. Then this is the growth of the narcotics and drugs. Then comes to the extremism and radicalism, which are spreading to the all kind of. So social economic instability because of the absence of the security environment. They also affects the border trade, the border contacts, human to human contacts. So everything which you are facing for the all countries of the region, Uzbekistan has the same problem. We are the largest republic of country in the Middle Asia. We are 28 million, which are more than all other Central Middle Asian countries and Kazakhstan together. And of course, we having there our Uzbek ethnicities. I'm saying Uzbek ethnicities, not Uzbeks, but Uzbek ethnicities, more than 2.5 million. So, of course, the all social economic life will be
impacting Uzbekistan. We'll continue this discussion, Excellency. नाज़रीन एक मुख्तसर ब्रेक लेते हैं. ब्रेक से वापसी के बाद हम पाकिस्तान में उज़्बेकिस्तान के सफ़ीर मोहतरम से मज़ीद गुफ्तगू जो है वो जारी रखेंगे.
बस वो जो अल्लाह की नेमतों को ज़ाये या बेजा इस्तेमाल करते हैं, अल्लाह की नाशुक्री करते हैं. रमजानुल मुबारक में बिजली की बचत करें. बिजली की बचत, सबकी जरूरत, सबकी सहूलत.
हर लम्हा बन जाए मनपसंद, मनपसंद.
Welcome back. Excellency, you talked about Afghanistan's internal problems, instability. There's a huge fighting going on there. Talk about economic aid to Afghanistan, the Bonn conference and the Tokyo conference, and so many other conferences took place to help Afghanistan become economically stable. Is Uzbekistan also taking part in the reconstruction and rebuilding of Afghanistan?
Uzbekistan is taking part as all other countries of the region. We have a real and actual and effective way of cooperation on bilateral level with Afghanistan, with the government of Afghanistan, with the nation of Afghans. We are not participating maybe on that conferences which you have mentioned, because we do consider them as the only just wasting of the time, and that are not focused particularly on the social economic development. This conference has not been unfortunately focused on the social economic development. We, on the bilateral way, with the help of the international finance organizations, we already are trying and we are implemented the projects in Afghanistan. First of all, it is the building of the bridges and the roads in the northern provinces of Afghanistan. And second is the building, and it is already completed, the railway from Termez, border city of Uzbekistan, up to Mazar-e Sharif, which the construction part already has been finished and completed, and we have now only operational part, which will be realized very soon up to end of this year. And the third one, which is most important thing, it's light, it's electricity, which Uzbekistan brought from the last year to Afghanistan. So if we've been before that providing electricity only to the northern provinces of 7 northern provinces of Afghanistan, from the last year 300 megawatt of electricity now has been provided to Kabul city, and I think that Kabul cities and Kabul citizens, they are now grateful to Uzbekistan for bringing them light and roshani, like we say. So there's such kinds of social economic development. And I should mention also the fiber optic connection, which we want to communication to do with Afghanistan. Such kind of the projects which we are doing on bilateral level are much more effective than any kind of conferences and talks and announcements.
Excellency, the presence of foreign troops in Afghanistan is a cause of worry for so many countries, including Pakistan, China, and many neighboring countries. They want these foreign troops to leave Afghanistan. And as you mentioned that Afghanis, the Afghan nation should be allowed to find out a solution of its own problems. How do you look at the presence of these foreign troops in Afghanistan?
Having said already that we do not believe on the military solution and believe on social economic development and political dialogue, of course the presence of any troops in any region, in any corner of the world, it is not counterproductive. And now, if in 2007 only the President Karimov was saying that there is no military solution, I think now the old world leaders for the last 2 years has agreed, and they publicly announced.
Even the Americans are saying that there is no military solution to Afghan problem.
So, as far as we know, the foreign countries, European leaders and American leaders, now they decided already to reduce and to start the exit. So this is very good news. It means that it will definitely bring a conducive environment and a political climate for the dialogue and negotiation between rival factions.
But Excellency, some analysts assert that the American and the NATO troops will remain in Afghanistan because their intentions are to lay hands on the natural resources of the neighboring countries like Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan. So some analysts believe that the presence of the NATO and the American troops will remain in Afghanistan for a long period of time. Do you agree to this?
No, I do not agree with this. First of all, I don't believe that any country, even with the strong economy, might be capable to spend the money, resources for the military campaigns.
It's not sustainable.
It is not sustainable. And then the objective economic indicators also show us that we have now economies which are thinking about the exit of the troops because of the great expenditures of that. The presence of any troops are only on the short-term solution. So I'm delighted to see that there are strong indication that the troops exit, troops withdrawal will start.
They will withdraw the troops from Afghanistan. That will be a very happy news. But still, people think, some strategists believe that a great game will be played in Afghanistan. Once Afghanistan becomes a little peaceful, the neighboring countries will vie with each other for a space, for an influence in Afghanistan.
Yes, there were some analysts and experts predicting this kind of things. But I think that the environment and the regional situation has already been changed. That 19th and 20th centuries ideology, that rivalry between West and East, between these two camps, I think already over. We have now countries in after the collapse of the Soviet Union in this region, which are
the Cold War is over.
Cold War is over, and we are independent, alhamdulillah. That of course we will be looking most of us and foremost for our national interest of Uzbekistan, and national interest of Uzbekistan is the dialogue, is the stability of the region, is the peace for our all the neighboring countries, including our Afghan brothers. So I think we hope, and I do and I may even say that I am confident that the repeat of the great games, big games, whatever games, might be not possible with the help of Allah Almighty.
थैंक यू एम्बेसडर। नाज़रीन, आज हमने पाकिस्तान में उज़्बेकिस्तान के सफ़ीर से इंटरव्यू किया है। एक तो उज़्बेकिस्तान की चंद दिन के बाद 20वीं सालगिरह हो रही है उनकी आज़ादी की, उस पर हमने उनको मुबारकबाद दी है और हमने गुफ्तगू की है पाकिस्तान और उज़्बेकिस्तान के दो तरफा ताल्लुकात पर, अफगानिस्तान की सिचुएशन पर और मुस्तकबिल में क्या इम्कानात हैं अफगानिस्तान में अमन के और इसके क्या समरात हैं जो हमारे नेबरिंग कंट्रीज हैं जिनमें उज़्बेकिस्तान भी शामिल है और पाकिस्तान भी। एम्बेसडर, थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर गिविंग टाइम फॉर दिस इंटरव्यू। थैंक यू वेरी मच।